everybody, it's JimJ 1911. We are going to be taking down Springfield Armory's brand new Hellcat Pro. And as you can see, I have the slide racked open, my chamber is empty, and I do not have a magazine in. So let's get started. Okay, with our slide locked open, we are going to push the takedown lever up, and then we're going to let our slide down. Now pull the trigger and slide the slide off. The next step is to remove this recoil spring. So we're just going to push this in and pull it out. And then we're going to remove the barrel. The next thing we're going to do is remove this striker mechanism and the extractor. Okay, now that we've done that, we're going to actually take this back plate right here from our slide. We're going to remove that back plate. And in order to do that, I'm actually going to take a punch or something similar. And there's a small button right here that I'm going to push in. And I'm going to use a lever action and just slide that out just a little bit, and you can see that there's a gap right there that tells me that it's ready to be taken out. Now I'm going to take a smaller punch, and you'll see this extractor rod right here has a small indentation at the top. And in order to remove this plate, I need to depress this extractor rod, and then holding on to it, you're going to use your thumb to slide it out, and there's the plate. So it came apart. Okay, so make sure you hold on to that plate when you remove it, because sometimes it can just come flying right out. Then I'm going to take my extractor rod out, and the next part we're going to do is we're going to remove our striker assembly right here. So we're just going to slide that out. Okay, now inside you'll see this silver part right here, and that is spring loaded. It holds our extractor into place. So what we need to do is, I'm actually going to use my finger to push that in. You probably won't be able to see the actual action of me pushing it in, but I'm going to use my finger to push that in. And then I'm going to take my extractor, pull it right out. And now I can take this little silver part out. And the last thing that's left is this spring that's right down in here. And I'm just going to turn this slide over, and that spring will come right out in my hand. All right, now that we have everything apart, this is where you're going to pay special attention and get everything cleaned up. The one piece that you really need to look at is the extractor. This is what gets gunked up very easily. We've already cleaned ours, but if there's too much gunk on this, it's not going to function and extract the way it's supposed to. So definitely use a cloth and get all of the gunk cleaned up on that. All right, so the first thing we're going to do to reassemble is we're going to take this little spring right here, and we're going to just drop this spring right here into place. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this silver piece, and what I want you to notice is at the end of this silver piece there's a cup. Okay, this cup is going to fit over the spring. So we're going to turn this over and we're going to fit this part over the spring. All right. What you need to take note of is there is a thicker, higher side to this and a thinner, lower side. This thicker, higher side is actually going to be toward the outside of the slide. So we're going to drop this in so it's on top of the spring. Okay, so you'll notice that this thicker part right here points toward the outside. Now I'm going to use my finger and I'm going to depress this. Then I'm going to take my extractor and we're just going to put it right in here and it drops right in. Okay, then you'll release that silver part right in there and you'll see that this whole thing is locked back together again. Okay, then we're going to take our striker assembly. You'll notice the firing pin and it's going to go back in first. And we push it all the way back in. Okay. Then we're going to take this piece. And what you need to notice with this piece is that there are two notches on each end. There's a notch here that's an L-shaped notch. And then here we have a U-shaped notch. Both of those notches are going to point the same direction. And this L-shaped notch is what is going to go in first. So we're going to put that right in, slide it in, and if you just turn this a little bit, turn your slide a little bit, you can see this window right here and you'll see this slide right into place. Okay, so now that we have that done, I'm going to put this back up on its end. In my opinion, this is the hardest part. And ladies or gentlemen, if you wear nail polish, this is where you really choose your nail polish up. So we're actually going to take this and we have to push it all the way down. And I'm going to do that with my fingers. You really have to push it all the way down, hold it tight. And then you're going to take this plate and you're just going to fit it in the grooves right there, just enough that it is caught. Then you're going to take your punch and I'm going to put my punch back in this indentation again and I'm going to push it all the way in. Once it's all the way in, I'm going to use my thumb and slide this plate back in place and you'll hear it click. So I'm going to push this in and you just heard that plate click into place. Okay, now I will take my slide and I like to turn it back this way. I'll take my barrel and I'm going to put my barrel back in and that just drops right into place and you'll see that it's in place. Then I'm going to take my recoil spring and I'm going to put my recoil spring in and give it a nice little push and it seats itself right in there. Okay, so that's all back together. Now once that's back together, you just you're going to put your slide back on and just slide it back into place. I'm going to lock it open and I'm going to put my takedown lever back up and then slide it and there we go. It's all back together and hopefully you have a nice clean gun once you have all of that done. And that is how you do a complete takedown on Springfield Armory's brand new Hellcat Pro. So another thing you can do is actually take apart the magazines and clean them periodically. Obviously, it doesn't need to be done that often. However, if you are dropping your magazines when you're shooting and they fall into the dirt or on the ground, you know, it's good to keep them clean and make sure that they're free of debris. So if you're interested in seeing a video on how to do that, let me know and I will make a video of that. So anyway, thank you all for watching this and make sure you hit like and subscribe. on my YouTube channel. And also check out my other platforms. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter under JennyJ1911. And I look forward to talking to you all again soon.